Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we will be texturing this Majin Buu character from Dragon Ball Z. We will go from this to this. Project files will be available in the description below, so if you guys want to follow along, you can. Now let's begin, my young grasshoppers. First, you want to make sure your mesh is seamed up and is UV unwrapped. Let's move on to the next step by creating an image texture in the UV editing workspace. Let's make sure the image texture is 2K by 2K. That resolution should suffice in this demonstration. It's important to bring up a reference image to assist in the texture working process. It's useful to use as a color palette. Okay, now drag the newly created texture image into the shading workspace, and let's begin painting. By entering the texture paint workstation settings, you can see a list of options you can utilize, but for this video, we are only using the color palette picker. The goal is to apply a light touch of paint precisely and randomly. In some areas, it's critical to use an array of different color tones for this project. In the end of the video, there will be a summary of all the shader nodes and materials we use to texture our mesh. So if this video is too boring or you have little time left, don't hesitate to jump to the end. Once we are done with texture painting, let's dive into the shading workspace. Here's a quick summary of the first patch of shader nodes. If you want to see the process, feel free to observe the time-lapse portion or skip to 3:09 in the video for the next shading phase. A good tip is to always render your object every time you progress with the texturing process. Also, make sure each rendered image is on a different slot. This method helps to compare and contrast and point out flaws in each phase of the process. Here's the second set of color nodes where we add an ambient occlusion and color ramp. This section will be another time-lapse portion. In the third node phase, we will be adjusting the subsurface and specular effects. In the final setup, we will be affecting the normal or bump of our mesh. Skip to 542 to get to the eye shader section. Coloring the eyes are pretty much the easiest part of this project. All we did was change the eyeball color to a dark tint on the principled BSDF node, and the iris to a bright red on the emission part of the principled BSDF node. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.